Why is networking important? Becoming successful isn't a matter of knowing everything. You don't always have to learn skills in order to solve problems, and long-term, you definitely can't do everything. Instead, it's very important that you learn how to leverage the right people in order to achieve your goal. Let's go over an example now. If you start a business, there are a lot of things that you need to take care of. It's fair to say that at the beginning, you're basically going to be everything from CEO to janitor, and everything in between. It makes sense because especially if you're starting from scratch, you don't have the resources to delegate everything. With time, you're going to hire people, and step by step, you'll focus on working on the business, not in the business. We talked about this in a previous video, but the difference is quite simple. Working on the business means developing strategy and analyzing the big picture of the company. Working in the business, on the other side, simply means developing the day-to-day tasks that are necessary to keep the business running. Obviously, both are important, but your goal as a CEO and a leader is to drive the company forward, not do little jobs every day. So, the work that's done in the business is still 100% necessary, so you can't just not do it. You need to find the people that will do it, that you trust, and that you know will deliver results. You need to hire them based on their experience, goals, performance, and a bunch of other important factors. And here's when the importance of networking comes into play. If you don't have contacts and if you know no one, it will take a really long time to even find candidates. If you already know people in the field and you have the contacts, all you gotta do is make a couple of phone calls and you get yourself a bunch of job interviews. But having the right contacts might also help you find clients, especially if you have a service-based business, or even if you're a freelancer. Meeting new people is fundamental if you want to stay in business. It's not a one-time product. Those are relationships that you need to develop and nurture in order to actually get their cash. So in summary, you need to know how to network. Today, I'm going to give you some strategy and tips on how to network properly in order to find the right people at the right time. 1. Understand that no one owes you anything. This is so important, especially for younger generations. You need to understand that you aren't entitled to anything. This has nothing to do with you as a person. I'm not saying that you're not skilled or that you don't know what you're doing. I'm just saying that this is how the world works right now. No one will give you anything for free. Especially if you want to include successful people in your network, you need to have something to offer. I mean, imagine being something like a millionaire. People approach you every day from every direction. Some pretend to be your friends just to get something in return, even just clout. If you really want their attention, you need to differentiate yourself, to stand out. How do you do that? By offering value. And this is why networking isn't easy or quick. It takes time to do this. For example, let's say that you're a copywriter. You write ads for businesses, and your goal is to land a new big client. You go to an event and you meet a lot of interesting people. Among them, there's a very successful guy that has multiple dropshipping businesses. He obviously runs ads on Facebook in order to find clients, and every one of those ads are written by one of his partners. The copy isn't the best. You know you can improve it. Now, you have two options. Number 1, you approach this person at the event in the hope that you will get his agreement on a collaboration. You can also give him a small discount and hope to close the deal. Or number 2, you can introduce yourself to him, tell him what you do, and spark a little conversation. You don't bother him further. After a couple of days, you deliver 3 new versions of the ad that he's currently running that you think are performing the worst. And remember, you don't ask for money, you just send it. You tell him it's a favor and that you're confident that they will work. You kindly ask him to try them and see the results. And if he wants you to write some more, you can give him a special discount. Let's assume that you know what you're doing and your ads generate results. Maybe conversion rates that the guy's never seen in his entire career. Guess what? You just got yourself a new client. See how this works? You just delivered value in advance without asking for anything in return. You stand out from everyone else that approached him that night at the event because you weren't there just to get him to sign on the dotted line. You were actually trying to help, and you were willing to go above and beyond even for just his consideration. Always remember that no one owes you anything. 2. Use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a free tool with so much potential from multiple points of view. And first of all, with LinkedIn, you can easily get in touch with high-status people, entrepreneurs, and CEOs. With them, you can develop any kind of relationship. You can both find new clients, and you can even make friends, or just people that you talk to when you need advice. Again, this must be an exchange. But developing genuine relationships in this space is so easy, especially if you live in a big city and you have the possibility to meet them. If you really want to excel on LinkedIn, don't just send random connection requests. Actually participate in the platform. Maybe even write a blog post once in a while. Interact with other people's content and seek engagement. This shows that you're actually active on the platform, and people will be more interested in talking to you. Also, it has the potential of generating free organic traffic to your profile, which you can then convert into clients. The possibilities with LinkedIn are really big, especially in the B2B space, or if you're selling services. In fact, people like Gary Vaynerchuk always talk about this platform as something that will grow exponentially in the future. Gary V has a past of successful predictions, so I would listen closely if I was in your position. 3. If you're looking for a job, don't spam your CV like a maniac. Sure, it's nice to have a CV, and employers will ask you for one just to get a glance at your experience. But what they really want is for you to sell yourself, especially when someone asks you, "Talk to me about yourself," or "Why do you think we should hire you?" They're literally saying, "Hey, I'm open, sell yourself to me." So it's not about spamming to everyone that's currently hiring, especially if you're at the beginning of your career. Your CV is most likely not as impressive as someone who has years of experience in the field. So you should rely heavily on your interpersonal skills. Now, if you've been getting value from this video, pause this video right now. Hit the like button and go ahead and click subscribe. That way, you'll be notified of all of our videos just like this one. Done? Great. Let's continue. 4. Don't be creepy, weird, or desperate. Alright, I know this is going to sound a little weird, but hear me out. Imagine seeing a beautiful girl on your Instagram. You go on her profile and you notice she's from your town. You really like her. She seems nice, so you'd like to ask her out. You straight up slide in her DMs and tell her, "Hey beautiful, why don't you and me go out to dinner tomorrow night?" Guess what her response will be? Exactly, no response. Maybe she even blocks you. Why? Because you're being creepy. She doesn't trust that behavior, and you can't come out of the blue asking for something. It's the same in business. You need to build rapport. You need some kind of relationship, especially if you want to meet them. You can't just tell them, "Hey, could we meet and you tell me how to make money?" Also, don't be desperate. This is just a strategy that allows you to become more desirable. If you have no other clients, no friends, and you're isolated from society, people will think there's something wrong with you. That's not necessarily the case, but that's the market's reaction. If no one is buying from you, there's probably something wrong with you. So you should act as if you had abundance. You don't have to lie, just keep a confident body language and tonality. Don't be insecure, and don't try to close people at all costs. Don't stalk them, research them on things that are necessary for you to actually understand what type of person they are, what they do, and that's it. 5. Follow up. Let's say that you just finished a product with a client. Maybe it was a one-time thing, but this doesn't mean that he can't ask you for help again. Most clients, especially in the service industry, will come back sooner or later if they're satisfied with your work. First of all, it's important to ask for feedback. You can divide this in 2 categories: public feedback and private feedback. The first is the one that you'll ask at the end, if you're confident that the client is fully satisfied with your service. You will publish that feedback on your socials or website, or you could use LinkedIn referrals. The private feedback is the one where you will ask your client to go hard on you. He needs to be brutally honest and actually look for defects and shortcomings in your service. You will use this feedback to better yourself in the future. You also need to follow up after some time to remind them that you exist and that you're still available to work for them. Don't actually use these words, just ask them how they're doing. If it's something like Christmas, wish them Merry Christmas. It would be even better if you could remember birthdays and important events in their lives, like marriages and so on. With that, you'll have a genuine excuse to contact them and spark up a little bit of conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Remember to go ahead and like the video if you haven't done that already, and go ahead and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.